We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around.
I'm here.
I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist. And it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen. It will never happen. We cannot have a meltdown.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's freaking burned their dogma snuggie by now, or freaking quit eating dogma burgers, lock, stock, barrel. I just looking at the, when I had leukemia in the hospital, I didn't even dare look at the obituaries. That's how close I was to death. I mean, I couldn't even look at one for a long time in our paper. It's just recently that I started looking at them again because, so creepy. And thinking, hardcore, but, every day I pick it up, there is another one. There is another one. There is another one. It's so sad. I pick up the paper this morning. There's Jeff, one of my friends, golf court, the women's golf coach at our university. I knew him, the golf pro. Got leukemia. It's amazing. We know that, it's not natural, it's not lifestyles, it's not, food chain. Maybe partially food chain, I guess, representative as far as the fight back and the living like you have cancer before you have cancer, but it's a fucking nuclear fallout. It's Fukushima. It's open air test in Nevada. And everyone go in denial all the fuck they want. I don't really give a fuck. And I like it how the whole fucking activist community and everybody's all fucking mad at me, and I don't really give a fuck. Fuck the softball team. I don't care. I'm in this to fucking win this. It's like fighting cancer. And by the way, the ones that pass win. I'm still losing every fucking day. That's why, there's more comes out of losing than winning a lot of times. So, I'm going to talk about the fucking 5-year propaganda machine that's in full flight. They all know. They know that Fukushima in the headlines are going to get a lot of media attention for the 5th anniversary. So they're going to control it like they always fucking control it. They're going to totally fucking control it because they control all the fucking media. They are the fucking media. And I want people to very much understand I'm no conspiracy theorist. Fuck, I'm the opposite, really. I'm one of these show me guys. But when I watch my father die of fucking leukemia being fucking nuked in the Nevada test site, I watch my love of my life all fucking die of leukemia. Then I get it. Fucking, I know. Kill them. These fucking liars can lie all the fuck they want. And they can go in denial. And these people that cover for them, straight to hell. And I'm a peace activist. So I'm going to talk a lot today about mind control, and not the kind you think. I'm going to talk about how this has evolved as far as television and media. the internet, everything, how it totally takes control of you, how it's taken control and gets you branded into dogma and gets rid of logic. And I could prove it. Everybody still goes down the rabbit holes. They still go down the rabbit holes. They still go down. They dig in. They dig in. They dig in. But when it gets acute and it gets game on, they still run right to CNN, Fox News, freaking, and look for confirmation. I hear it all the time. I still look for BBC confirmation, Reuters confirmation, NBC confirmation. And then, of course, you got the analysis. Now, 99% of everything on YouTube and everything on the Internet, we need it. Don't get me wrong. It's very important, to move the information. But 90 is nothing but the spin, the analysis of the analysis. Again, the death of Alito. Everybody wants to talk about right, left pivot. We all know he was the radical freaking right Supreme Court justice. Whatever. We all know that the Supreme Court is totally illegitimate. Look, and that's many presidents have said that. Remember Jackson's, by the way, they've been digging up his body for how many years, looking for arsenic in his stomach? That's just the facts. What do you say? It's the flaw of the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't say how many people. The 9, don't you love that? Jeffrey, I'm on Jeffrey Tubin. I'm on CNN. If you're a grown man and you're calling yourself Jeffrey, you're fucked up, dude. Really fucked up. It's like that crazy overcompensation fucking, what do you want to call her, that was having sex with that hairspray fraud John Edwards. What'd she call her, Costa Ryle or something? While his wife was dying of cancer. These are creepy fucking people. I remember when she come out with her name was Riley. Oh, a woman of that generation? I said, her name's fucking most likely fucking Linda or Lori. Sure shit, Lori. Hello. These overcompensation freaks, these fucking people are fucking completely fucking, total identity crisis. Totally overcompensation. But that's who they seek out, these fucking the puppet masters. And don't you love these assholes still? Michael Savage, we all know he's CIA. Alex Jones is CIA. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is so CIA, it's unbelievable. If you look up Ted Cruz, I want you to look up Ted Cruz's father. Ted Cruz's father was one of the fucking group that fucking fled fucking Cuba when Castro took fucking over. He fucking, in Austin, Texas, personally knew the gunman on the JFK blown away, Oswald. Political asylum. He was CIA as it gets. They all are. The CIA fucking channels right to heart of law. Barack Obama's parents, both sides, absolutely. His grandma, absolutely. They're all CIA. And you think, oh, Kevin's conspiracy? No. That's just fucking black. It's just like trying to say he's black. No, he's not. His mother was named Stanley. Right? Look it up. His father, polygamous. That's right. You don't believe it? Look it up. Even with the information, everything's at your fingertips. Everything's fucking right there. It still comes down to the dogma. It's like Alito. Far right spends it, far left spends it. Why isn't anybody talking about where he was? United States Supreme Court justice hobnobbing with American big business. Taboo. So the Supreme Court, and this, you can go clear back into the Warren Commission. What a fucking joke that was. It's such controllable. All presidents for years and years used to laugh at the United States. And by the way, the United States Supreme Court is so illegitimate. It's a fucking joke. And you say, oh, well, these laws they passed, and these came. So what? It's pseudo de facto. Does anybody go by the laws they find? No. For instance, it's against a lot of paid people cash. It's just like immigration. Why we never had a fence? We had a program where migrant workers could come in. I bought a fucking ranch and a farm, housing, blah, blah, and then they went back. I was a contractor. If you were to pay someone cash on a job site, a group of illegals, you would go to jail. That's against the law, the employer. It's not the exploiter, it's exploiters. Again, pseudo de facto. We have pseudo de facto government. Everybody's just thumbed their nose at fucking law on both sides. This is nothing but class. And it's not race. It's not religion. It's class warfare. They've waged it, and it's not new. It's old as Babylon and evil as hell. It's neo-feudalism. It's the royals. They got it back. And we funneled it up. Johnny, get your gun. Johnny, get your gold. Who's selling you the gold and the guns? It just that's called gaslighting. Shiny ball. Fucking co-op all the energy, which buying a gun's going to do you nothing because you can't fight back with a gun, I'm telling you, that's the wagon wheel. That's way advanced past that, what they use and how they use it. Well, look, let's get real. television, the CIA came together at the same time, 1947. CNN, Fox News will come out and admit it, that we're not news. They will admit it. We are corporate propaganda, pay to play. They'll tell you that. The House of Windsor, Fox News, so people still run down those rabbit holes. When they get down the rabbit hole, there's a fork in the rabbit hole. And they split. They go left or life, and all it does is spin you right back into your same FEMA camp. They're going to put you in a FEMA camp. You're already in a FEMA camp, and you're paying a mortgage on it. Wells Fargo and the low Alan Greenspan's fairy tale freaking put you in that FEMA camp with that fake low interest rate that slowly sucked you in, so you created your own personal Ponzi scheme. You thought, oh, God, look at this equity. It just keeps, especially in California. It's like you go to Ireland, they'll say, how do you Americans not own anything? How do you people in the United States of America not own anything? What are you talking about? Property tax. So they gutted the working class, sent the jobs to China. So as they gutted the working class, sent it to China, that's the tax base. It's always been the tax base. Good, solid, freaking making a lot of money, freaking middle-class jobs are the tax base. Always have been. Everybody's known that. That is the community. First, they come for the craftsmen, Paul Revere and these. I like all these people that call themselves patriots, free market they should be able to, really? They cut down freaking 96% of all the redwoods in 30 years. They only grow one place. They walk them. If these monsters were able to just have carte blanche, not get them Blanch, they would tap Old Faithful. There would not be a tree left. They're well on their way, by the way, to not being an animal left. This culture of death, just do what you want, pseudo de facto. The fucking United States Supreme Court is totally 100% illegitimate. Not my words, just ours. In the Gore, Bush. Now let's talk about this. So they got some credibility there for a while with Sandra Day O'Connor, because she was actually really a judge. It was really a judge, and you know what she got paid back with. Her husband, who she's married to all that years, got to Gene and actually met another woman who after God forgot about her and, hooked up with the other one. Very sad. But she was really a judge. So the rest of them aren't judges. They're politicians. Scalia, oh my God, come on. None of them. They're all freaking politicians. Look at the court. It's a joke. 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, 5. Right now, political. It's like Congress. It's a joke. They're all bought. Prove it. TPP. Okay, I want you to look up the United States Senate. Look at Congress. Anytime Fox News puts out the talking point, the Republican Party votes. There's not a dissenting vote. Same with the other side. They fucking stick together like a den of wolves, which they're really all on the same team. They're all bought and owned by the Koch brothers. Same scumbags who are sick. These people are sick. They got all the money. It's not about money anymore. It's about control and greed and God complex. The overcompensation, these are abused, sick children. And we allow it. It's outrageous. You want to talk about violently? What's violence perpetuates more violence? The tough, hard love, but what the hell is freaking bloodshed going to do? Make it worse. They stole it all. I always go, Rosemary's Baby, Rockefeller's Baby. You do know Rosemary's Baby was filmed at the Dakota. The death of John Lennon, it's Yoko's birthday today, is the marquee watershed moment. All the artists were killed. They don't have to do it. They let the media mind control through television. They wind these freaking Simple Simons up and get them going off in Louisville. And that's exactly where they go. So the United States Supreme Court, not my words. You can go back in president after president after president. They just laughed at it. Many scholars have always said it's the flaw of the Constitution, that a president appoints them, and the Senate, has to confirm them, but Congress doesn't. What did Andrew Jackson say? Don't tell me. There's one that says 9. I'll put 13. You want to count? I'll put 15. I'll put 17. Just so it's an odd number. That's what you say. So, Bush Gore. Why do we have the Electoral College? The Electoral College is put into the Constitution for one reason. Why? So big states can't control little states. So the popular vote. So you give representational to the states. So the popular vote, big states like, there was hypothesis that you'd have areas that got massive. We wanted to represent government from each, which, by the way, if you want to get into this, think about it. It's with democracy. We are a republic with a constitution, but the constitution's old. The Ultimate Amendment, they just killed it. It's called the Patriot Act. No one even talks about it. The Patriot Act destroyed this country. It's over. I mean, that's it. There is no constitution. Zero. Patriot Act took care of all that. For real. No due process, no freaking transparency, no nothing. Everything that Bill of Rights gave us, which the Bill of Rights, the first, second, third, it did. The first 10 came at once, and it was an amendment. Before that came the Tariff Act of 1791. So you go back to the Bush War, as Bush stole the election. And that's not political. That's just the facts. The facts is he did not went forward. All 30 television channels, all media, all reported that Gore won. And the way they counted, no, they had it right. Roger Ailes, who is Joseph Goebbels, Roger Ailes, who works right out of the House of Windsor, who is the most anti-American, treasonous human being, maybe in the history of the country, who works right for the royal elites out of Buckingham Palace. They got it all back, Remember when we were the British colony? Well, we're the British colony again. Mission accomplished. You think that's not a Freudian slip when Jeb says take Hamilton off the 10 and put Margaret Thatcher? Now, you just think about that. They stood together, the Bushes together. I said, Dumb and Dumber 3. Here we go. Debuts in South Carolina. Wow. I mean, these Bushes live in a fairy tale fantasy world that is so abstract because look what they've been able to do. It's like, oh, Karl Rove's a genius. No, he ain't. Karl Rove's a freaking moron. Creepy. Oh, look, he never won one election. He stole a couple. He's a treasonous rat. Oh, Bush scored. So they come out in the United States Supreme Court. They never ruled that he didn't win because they couldn't. They knew that. It's political. How many people does it take to become president of the United States? 6. 5 Supreme Court justices and your CIA daddy who put them there. So they voted not enough time. So remember that dog and pony show? It was like Wizard of Oz in Florida, and they'd open up that little window, and they'd say, or the Supreme Court ruled that the count goes forward. Because that's what the Electoral College is all about. So they backdoored the very essence of the Constitution, including Scalia. Come on, you think Scalia was a judge? He was a hardcore ideologue. Hardcore ideologue. So that's who these people are. You can go back in history over and over and over and over in the United States. Presidents laughed. People laugh. I mean, they still laugh. You can vote all these things. You think anybody participates in the? I mean, it's disgusting. It's pseudo de facto. I mean, the laws, people just pick and choose their fucking laws. It's against the law to pay someone cash in the casino industry in Nevada, but I mean, anywhere, including Trump. He's got freaking so many so-called illegals working for him. He's the one paying them cash. The IRS could clean it up like that. I talked to an IRS agent one day. They were recruiting at the university. I'm like, why don't you guys clean it up? Well, it's hard. No. Your contractors, your hotel owners, they're writing off labor on their taxes. They're still writing it off. You know who it is. And that labor is not freaking matching with Social Security numbers. You just stroke of a key, boom, boom. They could stop it right now. Why don't they? Because it's the greatest redistribution of wealth to the 1%, less than 1% in human history. They like it, just both sides. And these politicians, they're nothing but whores. But they have to be whores. Now, think about it. You run for office, if you're not the whore, you don't get the television exposure, you don't get the money. Again, the Supreme Court ruled all that bullshit. Look, the Supreme Court ruled, no one gives a shit what they rule. You think this country follows the rules and follows the laws? Only when it fits them. They don't follow the rules and the laws. Only when it fits them, not when it comes to white collar. White collar crime's so legal, buy here, pay here. I mean, it's so outrageous. I mean, you see these violations to the environment, these violations to freaking law. It's like Apple says, "Oh, we don't want to pay fucking our share tax in that. We think the tax rate's too fucking okay." Well, there you have it. Isn't that America? We don't like it. That's the law. So Tim Cook says, "I don't like the law, so I'm not paying." They all say, "Well, that's not the way it works here. That's the law. The tax rate on the corporation." So They do it illegally, by the way. They freaking tax avoid. I mean, they took Capone down for tax evasion, but they're not about to tackle these guys because they're in the club. They're the small group. The Supreme Court is totally fucking illegitimate. Again, that was his dissension when he wrote fucking Byers versus, Bush Gore. He wrote, here we go back again. It took all those years to get any credibility in the court, which was Sandra Day O'Connor Court, had some credibility because she was actually a judge, and it was four ideologues, and she actually was a judge. Here we are again, 4-4. So everybody's like, oh, we're going to filibuster. Do you think it matters? Because it's going to be Trump or Hillary. Trump and Hillary are the same people. Do not kid yourself. Some of the greatest liars in human history. Trump blowing up the Republican establishment? No, the Republican establishment blew themselves up. Trump's just freaking taking advantage of the freaking lunatic painting themselves into a corner. White males who freaking bombard. I mean, you think about it. The Republicans out there, they know they've been fucked so hard, which they have, and they know that. They know that. So they blew themselves up. Trump's just the guy there. You know how so-called illegals Trump is paying cash? It's like when he goes into naturalized caution on, which is true, Cruz was not born in the United States. So he goes back on another caution, and we can get into that, on the amendments of the Constitution. Now, the Constitution's been amended how many times? 18. 10 the first whack, 27 times, okay? So the first 10 came at one whack. That's called the Bill of Rights. So the last time we found it was, 92, which really isn't an amendment. That's such a dog and pony show, that amendment. And, wow. But anyway, in a concrete fashion, it's been a dance. I mean, the Constitution was left open to, it's not a concrete Constitution. It was left open because they understood that enough foresight to say, how are we going to forecast hundreds of years forward, or, population of 350 million people or 320, whatever, which in reality we probably have 360 million in this country. There's called 50 million people, and they're not all Mexicans, just most of them. They're being exploited because NAFTA exploited them. It displaced them too. Think about what is in Mexico, the poverty. Del Monte went in there. I mean, these are farmers that raise produce and sold a lot. They were allowed, it works both ways. NAFTA allowed them to go into there. How do you compete with that machine? That GMO, toxic, poison-free machine. How do you compete with Walmart when they roll into your town? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick, you can't. Walmart doesn't tell you. It's famous store Coca-Cola. We're not going in there, or Pepsi, both of them. No. Walmart doesn't ask, they tell. Same with Amazon. They come in, take out the post office, take out freaking bricks and mortar, pay no taxes. Well, think about it. If you got a business model, you can take on the biggest businesses in the country. You do not have to be profitable, and you don't have to pay taxes. Of course, you're going to have an advantage. Of course, you're going to take over. It's called, again, and I could prove this, how illegitimate the courts are and how illegitimate the Supreme Court is. Antitrust law exists in this country. Do you know how grotesquely Walmart violates antitrust law? Do you know how grotesque Amazon violates antitrust law? Apple violates antitrust law. These are hardcore criminals. They're violating laws in a dramatic, epic way all day, every day. Fucking Supreme Court ruling on this. They'll throw a shiny ball, guns, gays, God. Guns, gays, God. God, get you all high wound up. We're here, Rover. Go get the shiny stick. They're illegitimate. They're a joke. Congress is a fucking joke. What has Congress done? What has Congress done? When they say it's not representative government, they jerry-rig the districts. Yeah, I get it, the money, but come on. George Carlin, I think his greatest quote, and his millions of them, he was a genius. Selfish, ignorant people will elect selfish, ignorant leaders. Even with the internet, this pop is so ignorant, and they think they're smart because mommy told them one. Just so they go down the rabbit hole all over YouTube. They just still find their own dog. You think about when you go down Michael Savage, you go down freaking Alex Jones, and they do. Alex Jones does great work, a lot on a lot of things, but they still funnel you down to the same far right freaking shoot. Same with MSNBC, the center left shoot. They take all logic and reason out of your brain. They're still searching for that freaking thing so they can sell you guns, or they can sell you gold, or they can do whatever they can. They're still funneling you right there. They're all the same. They were paid to call it New World Order? There's nothing new about it. What does that do? It takes away history. It takes away the historical reference to it. This is all crazy. It's all one world. You know, that's not the world government. That's all paid shiny bullshit. It's neo-feudalism. It's old as mankind. No, it's royal families. It's monarchies. Here we are. We're a British colony again. They put the Potomac, burned down the White House in 1812. You know, this is a group of royal. It's for instance, okay, it's Yoko's birthday today. Japan. We know the atrocities Japan committed. Do not kid yourself. Not the Japanese people, the Japanese royal family. What they were doing for centuries to the Chinese, to the Filipinos, to the Koreans. At Pearl Harbor. Do you know anything about the Bataan Death Marches? Do you know how evil and sick those were? So, Wallace is the VP, right, for 3 generations. What happened to him? That was Eleanor's pick. So, they find Truman. Where did Truman come from? Do you know who Russell is? You trace it right back to Skull and Bones inception. All you ever write, which is all the Queen. It's all Oxford. It's all freaking Cambridge. It's all the house. It's the royal ruling elites in England, which have ruled for how long? One royal family was left standing when they were all inbred cousins. You don't think one small group of people can rule the world? Think about 1914. That was one. They're all related. The czars, the kings, they're all the same family. You have a Japanese ruling elite. Still do. One of the oldest monarchies, they're called shoguns, in history. So Yoko Ono's father, who was he? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the Emperor Hirohito, he was a young man, the royal ruling elite. How come they do anything to him? How come he lived in comfort and they left the royal family still standing? What? After all the oh, yes, he did do it. We fucking know. I mean, you know what kind of hatred there was for those people? And so the Japanese people surely didn't do it. The ruling families do it. That's exactly what's going on here. Same thing's happening with the new czar. Putin's the new czar. And then I love everybody wants to spin it to their dogma, to their anti-Semitic bullshit. Sure, a lot of players are Jewish, but a lot of players are not Jewish. A lot of players... Einstein was Jewish. He was a peace activist. Oppenheimer was Jewish. He was a peace activist. Eller Jewish? Oh, fuck yeah. So they want to prove it into the Zion, which, do not get me wrong, I mean, you look at the... Who says it better than Noam Chomsky? Noam Chomsky does such a beautiful world. The same thing. You got a group of Jews in Israel, the rest of them. It's the grueling elites. It's not per se Jews. It's not per se. It's not ethnicity. It's not blacks. It's not whites. It's ignorance. But they feed you that. They race bait. They religion. Muslim versus Christian. What? It's so outrageous. But they through the box, and you still have it. And it proves to be everybody still has it. Everybody that's in this alternative community, which they're worse than anything, and I could prove it, even our autocrat. I mean, everybody that's all in these things, every time something simply happens, they'll still go right down to that dynamic, that serious dogma. They have slept in a dogma snuggie so long and ate so many dogma buggies and drank so much Kool-Aid they can't help themselves. They are hypnotized, they're brainwashed, they are mind controlled, and it wasn't no elf power or a chemtrail or GMO'd food. Television. Rhetoric. That's how they did it. And it's hard to break through. I mean, I always tell everybody the first thing is get rid of your television. One of my great friends, the obituaries in the Ogden Standard today. Leukemia. I just looked it up and gone, no, not another one. Wow. We need the cause. Fukushima is the greatest event in human history. The cover-up is the second greatest event in human history. So, they're announcing, I did a video, I'll put it up today. They announced that J-Village. Now, I've been talking about J-Village for decades. J-Village is the coded word that the nuclear industry uses in Japan through the royal ruling elite family, Yoko's daddy, the bankers, how they've controlled nuclear island called Japan, turned into an experimental island, which none but nuclear. So the underground facilities on the Moxie fuel plants that we've been bitching about for decades are illegal. Remember when they shipped from South Carolina in 1993, the so-called fuel to remox it over there, and we had fits about it as activists. Now they say they're bringing it back to South Carolina. No, they're not. They're bringing it back waste from Fukushima to South Carolina and then to Utah. It's already out there. They're already doing it, which I predicted that. I knew they would do it. So they called it J-Village, and people used to call us conspiracy nuts. I'm like, no, it's very real. That's what they call the underground freaking setup. So now they've spun J Villages, and if you look at FOIA documents, what is J Village? It's the base camp for the cleanup of Fukushima, which J Village goes way back. So now they're announcing that at J Village, which is the base camp, will be where the soccer team from Japan for the 2020 Olympics will set up camp and train and get ready. This is such over-the-top, grotesque propaganda. And again, they captured the Atlantic Conference is what it was called. It's what was set up for world peace after World War II. When Stalin, Churchill, and FDR, they divide up the world. I mean, Russia lost 28 million men. Let's get real. What we've done to them, I mean, what's happened in the Ukraine from here, I mean, it's so grotesque what the world royal elites are doing to the Russians right now. It's disgusting, and including Putin. He's in on it. I mean, it's the same group. The czars, they're back. The inbred cousins, they were all cousins. They're all back. You know, maybe they don't have exact direct bloodlines, but pretty close. You know, and so they think they're the royal elites. They got the United States. The United States is a British colony again, the royal colony. It's a military colony. Think about what a sweet gig they got. You don't even have to have a military in freaking Great Britain anymore. They got the United States. Same with Canada. They got it all. They got it all. And we just sit back and let them. We're willing to feed every life, limb, children, everything to these fake wars, these bullshit wars. Any peace activists, they just kill them. John Lennon. I mean, if you're about peace and you're about music and you're really, you can move culture, they just kill you. I mean, it's amazing. Yoko, Ono, you know, and don't get me wrong, I use Yoko as a shooting board. I mean, I'm not, because she fought for peace. I'm talking about her father and the royal elites. The emperor was, how did Truman possibly let him off the hook? He did it all. I mean, the ruling family freaking controlled that whole thing. How did he let him off? They still have a ruling family in Japan, which Obama, the only true thing he ever said when he did his fake show in Fukushima, ate his fake sushi, went over, these treaties were signed long before. And remember, Caroline was over there, and I have connections, third, fourth party through Caroline. And she said that, you know, we haven't heard peep of Caroline since. She was on the 50th anniversary of her father's funeral at Fukushima, Japan, with her son, who looks just like JFK. Boy, was she told by the nuclear cartel to stand down, and boy, has she. We ain't heard a peep from her since. How long ago was that? We're getting on 3 years. Amazing. The royal elites are back. And they're not elites. They're scum. You know, they're the inbred freaking bleeders, just like the news are. And by the way, I'll bet you it comes out. People argue with me all this time. Oh, Putin's not related to Nikolai. I bet he is. I bet he is. I bet it all comes down. He is. You know, so the czars are back in Russia. And the poor Russian people, and it's the United States, what Obama and the military colony of the United States with their might and their power are doing to that region, desecrating it. It's horrible. The full-blown out, everybody goes, World War III started a long time ago. I mean, there's full-blown out fucking war going in fucking the Ukraine. Devastating Europe. Again. I mean, the economic warfare, the class warfare, you fucking, look it up. I mean, you go back, okay, 1980 when John Lennon was killed. They wind these idiots up, this wacko up. You know, was he CIA? I don't know. You know, he had spent a lot of time in Lebanon, freaking, who knows with this freak lunatic, but they got him all wound up through media. You know, far-right rhetoric, far-left rhetoric, you know. The music died. I mean, the most influential man on the face of the earth. Yeah, he'd been in hiding for 5 years. He was ready to come back, had a new album coming out. You don't think the fucking, I mean, he was so anti-establishment, I mean, these people, look, the peace movement and the activists of the fucking day, oh, did they win? I mean, think about how anti-establishment it was. How freaking, the Royals were done. They were done. In the 60s and 70s, it was over for them. Military, it was over. These freaking repressors, it was done. The average working class American in 1975 made $106,000 a year. Freaking working for it. Now, you can find pockets of a little bit of poverty people want to argue with, but it's very rare. You know, because you can still find your ideologic freaking mindset that will feed your dogma. Not based on reality and logic. The greatest socialized people in the history of mankind. The strongest middle class in the history of mankind, 1945 to 1979, the United States of America. Tax rate on the wealthy, 94%. Average working class, One person working, 5 kids, moderate home, fucking 2 weeks vacations, full insurance, not through the government. How does that happen? Tariffs at the port? Fuck, there's a reason you drove GMs. It was beautiful cars. The WPA, look, the WPA hired artists. Pollock, all those guys came out of the fucking WPA, including, all of them. Then the designers went to Detroit. Of course, they hid the Nazis in freaking Detroit, too. The ruling powers have even hid that. But the working class had all the power. All the power. Fuck, they were done. Then here comes Reagan. The dementia fucking gonzoed in the brain was already out of it by the time he got elected. Not my words, his son's words. Nancy's words. The astrologer, but Nancy was anti-nuclear, and so was the astrologer. So was Gorbachev. Gorbachev, one of the greatest humans who ever walked. You know what he accomplished? And it was Nancy Reagan, and it was the astrologer. They had them all on nuclear. They signed a non-proliferation contract. These things were done deals. We're not freaking making more. We're getting rid of what? So we're making more at White 12 still? We're making more bombs, leaner, cleaner, freaking, and then you go to ICANN and all these fake fucking softball activists that'll sit and try to separate nuclear weapons from nuclear bombs. And I argue with them, including Hillary Cathcart, all of them. I know they're not they're the same thing. Nuclear energy and nuclear bombs are the exact same thing. My big gig is through the art, through the music, because I know it's all subliminal. You can hear all my words I say, they're going to mean shit to you. With television, they all know that. They know that it's the visual. The eye will cognitate into the fucking brain by hundreds of thousands of times why the visual. That's what I've been up to. I know that. I'm an artist. They know that too. They did it through the fucking television. They did it through movies. They did it through, they featured our children. And it's hard to break loose from it. By not watching is the best way to break loose from it. Taking everything with 6 grains of salt when you fucking watch. There's lots of great, it's the greatest library in human history. Think about the evolution of YouTube. My God, wow. But the fucking spin doctors are in full fucking flight. And they're popular. Of course, if you got a popular YouTube site right now and you're really in vogue or whatever, you're probably such a grotesque failure. Because contemporary culture is a fucking disaster. Pop culture is the greatest disaster in human history. Look up the participation rate. Look up the fucking debt. Look up the personal debt. Look up fucking college debt. Academia's captured it. Look at, they just hand out PhDs like fucking confetti on fucking New Year's. They're worthless. It's like the marine biologists and they're great. They don't know how to study the fucking ocean. The greatest ecological catastrophe in human history, Fukushima. It's so obvious and so logical in your fucking face. As I told it from fucking day one, but people are unwilling to accept because they still got dogma. They're going to go and spin their spin fucking circle because it makes them feel better in their comfortable place. Their comfortable place is still going to go right pill, left pill, and they're still going to go there, and they're still going to fuck. And I guess you can't blame them. And by the way, people really need to understand as activists, we don't need popular opinion. We don't need the mass. We don't need to educate. Now, I'm up to educating, no doubt, and I have educated, but I'm not educating the masses. I'm educating the movers, the shakers, the strong, the mentally freaking powerful, the people in positions that are going to make a new breed of activists being born, the tactical, strong, old-school activists, through art, through culture, that gets it. We don't need the masses. The last thing we really need. We don't need popular opinion. It's a small, small army. I call it the post-ignorance army, fighting their small, small army. The nuclearism global elites, which they know that nuclearism is the ultimate jewel in control, in wealth. Look, they have all the money through the nuclear industry. There's no liability. At Indian Point, for instance, you can't sue them. Do you know you can't sue them? Even though they poison the entire house and kill everybody, you can't sue them. It's called Price-Anderson Congressional Act. They have all the benefits of the United States taxpayer, all the benefits of the protection of the United States Patriot Act, which will run, all the benefits of the United States military, all the best of the international community's tax dollars through the UN. Because the IAEA captured the UN. They got veto power. They own the World Health Organization. You see the World Health Organization now experimenting and saying they're going to release male mosquitoes with low level radiation in them to sterilize the entire mosquito and fucking, the entire mosquito extinct. That's their plan. The bats eat the mosquitoes. The bats are the greatest fertilizers in the world. Now, so the virus they're blaming on the mosquito when this is climate change, which is it environmental poisoning? Absolutely, it's environmental poisoning. Now, as you know, I call it plutonium. I've never said it was all Fukushima. I've said it's the crowning jewel to the toxic soup, which has been proven more that my theory is exactly right. It's been proven. As I put on the periodic table, they left the bottom pyramid naked with 4 fucking spots. Livermore's recreated Fukushima in their freaking lab, and it has created a new element that they didn't know what is, and it's going to go on the periodic table. Look it up, which I'm the guy that came up with that. I'm the guy that invented it. I want the prize. I want the money, which is a couple $1 million. I'm the guy that came up with that a long time ago. You take gamma rays from Fukushima, the new sun, and you combine it with everything else we've dumped in the fucking ocean for how long, it's going to create a new energy, a new source. It's just like a PhD. What is a PhD? These PhDs are not PhDs. None of them. A traditional PhD in historical terms is you have to do 3.5 years of work in the theater. Actually work. And it's not we like you and we have a peer review. No, they have to give it to you. You go in the theater, you do freaking work, and you create a new knowledge. That's a PhD, which is very rare, which they're supposed to be very rare. Now they hand them out like fucking toilet paper, because that's what they are. Academia's toilet paper. 90% of the internet's toilet paper. It's outrageous. This country has lost logic because baby boomers, spoiled rotten, never fucking grew up, fucking, and I'm talking the aggregate. I'm not talking, individuals, there's plenty of great images. The poets, the artists, the freaking butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, there's so many strides. Think about my plastering career over and over and over, how skilled I was. We have no platform. We're done. How do you compete with 15 illegals being freaking exploited? An underground community has been created in this country that's unbelievable. There's underground gambling places. There's underground freaking hospitals now because you have 60 million so-called illegals who can't go to the hospital. They can't go to the doctor. They can't go for anything. And why? Because they're being exploited to the 10th power. It's not the exploited, it's the exploiter. Hair-sprayed masquerade party, hamburger, fat-eating contractors who have never paid their dues, don't know how to fucking do anything. Exploiting people. And so you got junky houses, your styrofoam fucking fake stucco, fake fucking rock, ethos fucking junksters. But the 0% interest rate just keeps pushing the equity up in the house. So what does it do? It develops a false sense of security, so you just keep borrowing. You don't realize you have to pay it back. But you have to pay it back. And next thing you know, you look at your balance sheet, even with your fake equity in your house, you're like, oh my God. I'm going to work till I'm 90. The Fed's going to raise the retirement on your 401k, which is another shakedown. They're already talking about they're going to make it a 75. They can't do that back retro. Watch them. The illegitimate Supreme Court, they have no say in this. Executive orders are all the rage. Executive orders are illegal. They're unconstitutional. All of them. All of them. There's no such thing. Who really put that in vogue? Bushy boy? The guy who still, oh yeah. Obama took it to the next power. They're illegal. Totally illegal. So is the Supreme Court. So Bush steals the election. He did not win. He did not win, which makes it illegitimate. Alito and Roberts, both were replaced. Which Alito, BYU law staffers, that's how Mike Lee got his fucking job. He's head of staff for Alito. We have no politics here. There's no two-party system here, one. Two, it's no open caucuses, even though the law says it has to be open. They still sneak it behind, so they're appointed. They're picked. Mike Lee's house in foreclosure, 600. He was hand-picked by Alito just because he went to BYU law and was BYU one of his staffers. That's all. That's all. That's all. Him and Ted Cruz, and by the way, they don't believe anything of their own rhetoric. He got $600,000 in a bank bailout. Why he's the first sitting United States senator in history to have his home foreclosed on. Why he's a sitting United States senator. Got $600,000 in the belt. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. There's nothing. I mean, it's just the facts of life. So they got it all back. What's the answer? Well, that's the only thing Trump doesn't get, because Trump has an economics degree from a very powerful economics school. He studied economics. He knows. He knows the only answer. The only thing he says right, and he's not a liar on, there's only one answer. Tariffs. Very simple. Hamilton, that's how this country was formed. The original fucking war, when we threw the fucking British out, I mean, white Anglo-Saxons have been living here for 300 years, including the Delawars. I mean, all of them. They were craftsmen. Paul Revere probably, many people consider him to be the greatest silversmith in human history. The furniture makers, Adams, they were tired of the East India Company. Remember them? the new Walmart, jumping cheap goods onto the colonies. They were craftsmen. They had incredible businesses, an incredible culture. They were protectionists, hardcore protectionists. They were sick of it. So they dressed up like Indians and threw the tea. That was a fucking tariff fucking dispute over fucking their tea versus fucking the cheap fucking tea. But it was about cheap Chinese goods coming in from the East India Company. Why did it happen then? That's why it happened then. Masons? Yes. The Masonic Wars. A lot of it in the old days. Most of the world called the French Revolution, the American Revolution, simultaneously acts, called them the Mason Acts. They were George Washington. They split. The Masons divided up, which they really did start out as real Masons, rock splitters. And that's been spun into madness, too. And I'm no Mason. I'm a real Mason. I split my own rocks. I laying granite and plaster and have scars all over my fucking body from it. So my house, it's everywhere. I have 10 fucking jobs in this. So you can't drive down the road. I'll show you them all over. Masterpieces. I look at them every time. I'm like, oh, my God. Even the ones I did when I was young. 17, 18, I'm like, look at this. So flawless. So freaking good. I was trained so well, and the apprentice so freaking great. You know, look at them. Wow. That's all over. They cover them up. They tear them down. They were Masons. Where did the United States get the money? We had no money. So Hamilton, who they've demonized him, which they used to call New York City Hamiltonville, he said, no debt, because we're going to have to borrow money. It's naive to think that our shores are not going to be attacked for our vast natural resources. It's naive. We must have a militia. We must have a central bank. Central bank, and I like everybody, 1913's when the central, oh, no. You can go all the way back pre-revolution. The central bank was an ebb and flow fucking thing. It came and left, private, fucking public. You know, of course, the Rothschilds got their fucking finger dicks in it again. But it was always a dance between fucking world global fucking bankers and fucking private institutions and fucking locals. It's been that dance. The Greenspan is the fucking greatest terrorist that ever hacked. He handed over lock, stock, barrel. I mean, he gutted this fucking country. That Ayn Rander. And think about Ayn Rand Paul. By the way, you know, the Ron Paul group was all under indictment. All that money you young guys sent to them, do you see they stole it all? Look it up. Millions under federal indictment, including fucking Rand Paul's son-in-law. All of them. Your freaking great libertarian fucking thing was a thief. Look it up. No opinions about that. It's just the facts. So, Marie Antoinette goes back to her, to Marie Antoinette. That Austrian girl. She was a little girl. They're trying to keep the royal fucking Hungarian Austrian Empire and the French fucking Empire back. They knew, you know, these crazy fucking radicals in the sewers, fucking whatever, Maximilian and boys. They were Masons. They were Masonics. They were organized. They had money. They were anti-royal. They turned on the fucking royals. They were executing anybody. You even talked royal. You even said madam or sir. In fact, they chopped your fucking head off. They hated the royals. Remember, they did a new calendar. It was a 10-day week. They got rid of everything royal. Same thing broke out here called the George Washington Masons. George Washington. You think Napoleon was putting his hand in his fucking coat because he had a stomach ache? No. Justice in moderation. They were anti-royals. They were going to strip the fucking power away. Protectionist. Craftsmen. The real Masons, the greatest craftsmen of all time. Look at those early rock. I was a rock layer for years. I'm telling you, you look at those arches and everything when I'm in Europe, do you understand what kind of craft that is? What kind of, there's no, that's the ultimate fucking craft. You know how good they were? So, I mean, that's where it all evolved from. And then it got fucking hijacked. Of course, they've lost all power. Fucking Masonics ain't no power. Last fucking 33-degree Mason was fucking Gerald Ford. Over Hasta La Vista. Fucking Reagan took care of that. Who took over? Skull and Bones, the Royals, Skull and Bones, Russell, all nuclear. They knew nuclear evolved. They knew they had Tiller in their pocket. They knew what was going on. They knew they fucking had to fucking, Stalin called it. Stalin says, well, what did Churchill use to poisoning? They had it. They knew that it was going to be all nuclear. Cal Berkeley. Oh, that guy. That's where the whole head of the snake's still run. Ask Nico Kako, he'll tell you. You know, it's all fucking run there still. So they force Wallace out and they find Truman. That fucking rat. Masons are over. They lose their power. It's all skull and bones. For instance, Teresa Hines. Who is she married to? Who is she? Go into Teresa Hines' background, all the way back. Oh, the CIA rats that killed the fucking elected fucking people down there? So she was married. Who? Hines? Senator Hines? Oh, he broke her. The Republican from Ohio? The fucking billionaire? What happened to him in Wellstone at the exact simultaneous time? Okay, she's dead. So on the left, he's the right? On the left, she ends up married to who? That peace activist that threw his fucking medals in the Potomac? Oh, that Skull and Bones guy? Who's the secretary? She's married to who now? John Kerry? What? Oh, I like it how the PT fucking both fucking truthers come out. All fucking same players. AstroTruth, Koch brothers. Perry, by the way, Perry died recently, the billionaire. All AstroTurf. AstroTurf. They're all funded by the same guy. The Koch brothers fucking get rid of this. Just to extract, cut down all the trees, fucking just take it all. Fucking extract your people, belligerate you. That's Skull and Bones. That's who runs this thing. Every single politician now, fucking every one of them's all fucking the Yale connection, the Harvard connection, the Cambridge, they're all right there. You think when aid comes over to the United States, that's a big, big deal. The protocol's on. The PM of Japan comes here. He only goes to really two places: Harvard private institution and Stanford private institution. Oh, third one, he sneaks off to MIT Media Lab? Why would he possibly go to MIT? What the fuck? Of all the places in the world, there's a Japanese connection there. Oh, now I get it. J-Village, the cover-up of Fukushima, who controls all the PhDs in the world, who close the information. Aaron Swartz. There's a new Robin Hood girl in town. She's from Kazakhstan, where the deer and the antelope used to play. She released every fucking PhD in the world. They're out there. They're already out there. Now, you think about it. What are PhDs turned into? Research papers just looking at other research papers. That's not a PhD. That's not even a fucking master's thesis. That's just what we used to do as undergraduates in your fucking, sophomore and junior years. Research papers were for undergraduates. Now research papers get fucking PhDs? What? Because there is no knowledge. That's the economy of Fukushima. That's why there's no marine biologists out there, because they're all old and dead and retired. The real ones who created new knowledge, who actually went to the ocean and studied, if this would happen 40 years ago, this would be such a mega fucking event, and they'd already been over. They would have their academia work would have fucking would have shut down the cover-up of Fukushima and forced the entombment. But these academians just regurgitate each other's research papers over and over and over and over at $32 a crack. Who fucking owns those? The publishing houses, again, the fucking elites, right from the House of Windsor. They got it all. They own the media. They own the fucking sports franchises. Fucking non-profit NFL at Puppy Killer Stadium, Lucas Oil. It's outrageous. And then you got CIA rats like Joel Osteen, Rick Warner, fucking her on the mound and saying they're CIA fucking paid rats. I call it Operation Foxconn. Colorado's PhD says that. He says you want to control and take this country over for the fucking wealthy. Real easy. You have to buy the evangelicals and the Mormons, which the Mormons sold out fucking in the 70s. The Mormons took the money and completely sold out in the 70s. That's a fucking unarguable fact. My family is so historical in this Mormon community. Without my fucking families on both sides, there is no Mormon church. I used to advise on the committees. I am the walking, talking Mormon historian around here, and everybody knows it. They called themselves the Great Communist. They sold out to the CIA in the early 1970s, completely lock, stock, barrel. Over. The evangelicals, so they went in, they placed in Jesus did not, you think about it, Jesus died so I could be rich. It's so over the top, because they know you can, the Baptists, the evangelicals, the Mormons, they know that the leaders control, and they will follow. Look what they preach, mass murder. They preach everything the exact opposite of Jesus. Everything, up is down, everything the opposite of that guy. Everything. Yet these flocks go along with it. They practice slaughter all the animals, fucking rape the earth for fucking profit. I used to work at Kennecott, the biggest fucking open pit mine in the world right here. The trains go right there. The smell there right as you go out I-80, that's the gold smell. They're second biggest. They load it up on train cars. It goes directly to Canada. That's the Queen's Hole. Rio Tinto is owned by the Queen. All of it. The Queen of England. That's right. The Queen of England. That's right. Uranium mines, all of it. And these people have sold out. Look, the CIA has gone to the Mormon Church, and if you don't think the Mormon Church is a pyramid scheme, it just recently got released, the so-called living, which is against the law. You can't preach from the pulpit. That was ruled in 1971 in the fucking Anti-Discrimination Act. You cannot discriminate. You cannot preach politics from the pulpit in any way and get nonprofit. But that's all they do. Again, an illegitimate Supreme Court. What does it matter if those laws exist? Nobody pertains to it. It's like the Environmental Protection Acts, the Antiquity Acts. They rape them and fucking pillage them all day, every day. There's no prosecution because law isn't always good as the fucking willingness of the fucking prosecutor prosecute. And they don't prosecute. Like here, they just turn the other cheek. You know, whole crews of houses of so-called illegals. I mean, my next-door neighbor, Mormon bishop, fucking Weber County Commissioner, his name's Kerry Gibson, has houses and houses of them. I mean, I was up there the other day, and I was talking to the one guy, and he had maybe a 3 or 4-year-old sleeping on the fucking tractor in there. And then the other, they don't go to school, they don't do that, and if they do, it's not their fault. They're exploiting. They work 7 days a week, 15 hours. It's slavery. They just exploit. That's against the law. That is against the law. It's like everybody says, oh, it's unethical that Alito was with these big businesses on there. Unethical, it's illegal. But no one gives a fuck. They ain't going to talk about that piece of this equation. Left pill, right pill, dogma, guns, gays, God, guns, gays, God, homosexuality. It's all the freaking rage to be controversial about it. It's shiny bullshit. Really, think about that whole... I mean, I had a hippie wedding. I mean, I grew up with the beatniks and the hippies off the grid. Why would you let the freaking government get involved in your marriage? Think about that. Think about that. A contract, that's all so the government can complete it because you are a legal citizen. I'm not a fucking legal citizen. I got news for you. I am not a legal citizen. Fucking, I speak Latin. Fucking, I can speak Latin. My Uncle Hallgile taught me. Fuck, I speak very good fucking Latin. Pseudo de facto, oh yeah, that's all it is. It's pseudo de facto. That's Latin. Fucking, I mean, unbelievable. And alma mater is not my university. I have a mother, Earth. You know, they captured it all. And fucking, I mean, common law still exists, but you have to know it, and you cannot fucking participate in the fucking thing. But good luck with you. Good luck with you. These fuckers. I mean, to rape the Earth, these monsters have to be stopped. And you're going to do it through the art and the culture. The music. Look at all the great music that did it. I mean, look what happened in the fucking 60s and 70s. That's the greatest fucking social movement in human. Second best. Second. And it worked. We won. But they got it all back. It took them a long time. They killed all the musicians. Now, they didn't have to, per se, kill them. They control idiots like James Earl Ray, Saran, fucking David Chapman through the fucking media and the dogma. Fucking, they think they're fucking going to become famous. No. Would they have accomplices? Oh, fuck, of course they had accomplices, you and I. I mean, the fucking whole fucking dogma and the rhetoric. I mean, it's outrageous. They got it all. They fucking killed them all. You know, so who's got the field now? Glenn Beck? And Glenn Beck is a freaking heroin addict junkie who's so fucking whacked on dope he's out of his fucking mind that the Mormons found in the gutter in fucking Las Vegas. Degenerate fucking heroin addict in the fucking gutter. So whacked on meth he didn't open down. That's... what's that old Cheech and Chong fucking line? Wow, man, up in smoke. I used to be all fucked up on the dope, man. Now I'm all fucked up on the Lord. They don't even know what the fucking Lord is. I mean, they hijacked, and I mean, what they've done to Christianity is so outrageous. It's so sad. Love them, for they know not what they do. Boy, is that line prevalent right now. That was the people killing him. You don't think he was about peace and love? He did throw the money changers out with the whip. You know, and there's plenty of radical prophets. If in the book was written, that book was written by a lot of people. But, you know, we go to the Hindu book, we go to the, you know, the Quran, we go to the Bible, we go to all these books. They were written by a lot of people, and there's lots of interpretations. You got to realize they weren't written by one person. You know, I mean, by many, many, many. You know, almanacs, guiding lights. There's a lot of great stories in those books, a lot of credible ones. You know, I loved some of those stories. You know, the Book of Mormon, now that's a piece of trash. I mean, it's obviously just stole one. Not my words, Mark Twain's words. Again, Stan Tuna. I mean, keep eating the dog bird. The greatest catastrophe in human history, 3/11/11. The ecocide, Pacific Ocean is not going to die all the way, by the way. It's not going to. She's going to fight back soon. See you for the 5th anniversary at Diablo, at the Mama's Heart, at the gates of hell that the nuclear industry turned into, that beautiful fucking apple orchard that the Shumas raised apples for
All
thousands.
nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Boom gate.